The water in your glass is older than the sun. Right now, wherever you are, there is probably a glass, a bottle, or a tap with water in it within your reach. It looks ordinary, clear, tasteless, completely unremarkable. But that water has a secret, and it is one of the strangest stories science has ever pieced together. A large share of the water on Earth did not form on Earth at all. It did not even form in our solar system. It condensed in the freezing darkness between the stars before the sun itself had ignited. Which means the next sip you take may be older than sunlight. To understand how that is possible, we have to go back almost all the way to the beginning of time. Every water molecule is a tiny partnership, 2 atoms of hydrogen bound to 1 atom of oxygen. The hydrogen is almost unimaginably old. It was created in the Big Bang itself, nearly 14 billion years ago, in the first few minutes of the universe. The oxygen came later, forged in the furnaces of massive stars. When those stars died and exploded, they scattered oxygen across space like ash on the wind. In the cold, dark clouds where new stars are born, those 2 ingredients finally met. There, on the surfaces of microscopic dust grains, at temperatures hundreds of degrees below zero, hydrogen and oxygen locked together. Molecule by molecule, frost grew on the dust, the first water born in darkness, light years from any sun. Astronomers can still watch this happening today in stellar nurseries scattered across our galaxy. Water, it turns out, is not rare or precious in the universe. It is one of the most common molecules in existence. Around 4.5 billion years ago, one of those dark clouds began to collapse. Gravity pulled the gas and ice, coated dust inward, tighter and hotter, until a new star flared to life at the center. That star was our sun. The leftover dust and ice kept swirling around it in a vast spinning disk, the raw material of the planet. And here is the remarkable part. Much of the ancient interstellar ice survived the sun's violent birth. In 2014, researchers traced the chemical fingerprints of Earth's water and reached a startling conclusion. A significant fraction of it, by some estimates up to half, is older than the sun itself. Frost that formed in the dark before sunrise was folded into comets, asteroids, and the growing planet. Ancient ice waiting for a world to fall onto. The young Earth, though, was no place for water. It was a ball of molten rock, scorched by impacts and glowing with volcanic heat. Any water on its surface should have boiled away into space. So how did a dry, burning world end up with oceans deep enough to drown continents? The answer, most scientists believe, arrived from the sky. For hundreds of millions of years, water, rich asteroids, and icy bodies rained down on the cooling planet. Each impact delivered another cargo of ancient ice, locked safely inside rock. More water seeped out of the planet's own interior, carried up by volcanoes as steam. Slowly, the skies filled with vapor, the vapor became rain, and the rain fell for thousands upon thousands of years. When the storms finally cleared, Earth had ocean. Scientists can even test this delivery story using a kind of chemical barcode hidden in water itself. Some water contains a heavier form of hydrogen called deuterium, and its ratio differs from place to place in the solar system. When the Rosetta spacecraft visited a comet in 2014, the comet's water turned out to be a poor match for Earth's. Rich asteroids, on the other hand, match beautifully, making them the prime suspects in the greatest delivery in history. Since those first rains, something extraordinary has been true. Earth has barely gained or lost a drop. The water that filled the first oceans is, for the most part, the same water we have today. It just keeps moving through a loop that never stops. The sun lifts it from the oceans as invisible vapor. It drifts as clouds, falls as rain and snow, gathers into rivers, and slides back to the sea. A single water molecule spends, on average, about 9 days in the atmosphere before falling back to Earth. In a river, it may linger for weeks, in a deep glacier or an underground aquifer for thousands of years. But eventually, almost every drop rejoins the cycle. That means the water in your glass has been nearly everywhere and nearly everything. It has been sea and storm, glacier and geyser, morning fog and monsoon rain. It has almost certainly passed through dinosaurs, through ancient forests, through the lives of people who vanished long before history was written. Water is never created fresh for you, it is only ever borrowed. And despite our planet's blue appearance, the share we can actually use is astonishingly small. About 97% of Earth's water is salty ocean. Most of the fresh water that remains is locked away in ice sheets and glaciers. Less than 1% of all the water on Earth is liquid fresh and within reach. There may be even more water hidden inside the planet itself, bound up in minerals, hundreds of kilometers down in the rock of the mantle. In 2014, a tiny diamond carried from those depths held the first direct evidence, a water-bearing mineral called ringwoodite. Some researchers suspect the deep Earth may hold as much water as all the oceans combined, not sloshing in caverns, but woven invisibly into stone. And far beyond Earth, the story keeps going. Astronomers have found a cloud of water vapor around a distant quasar holding 140 trillion times the water of all our oceans. The universe, it seems, is soaked. So tonight, pour yourself a glass of water and hold it up to the light. You are holding melted stardust, frost that formed in the dark before the sun was born, delivered by asteroids, and recycled through oceans, storms, and living things for 4 billion years. It may be the oldest thing you will ever touch. Follow worth knowing for more things worth knowing.